Hello, everybody. My name is Delio Hernandez, and I'll be talking about Morgan Parker's All They Want Is My Money, My Pussy, My Blood. Morgan Parker's history. So, Morgan Parker is a poet, a novelist, an editor, and a teacher. She was born in December in Southern California, but now she lives in New York. She attended Columbia University, and she obtained her bachelor's in anthropology and creative writing. She eventually got her MFA in poetry at New York, and she is also the creator and host of Reparations Live at the Ace Hotel, which is like a poetry show. Um, she's very active in the New York poetry um, community. So I'm going to just read the poem out loud, and I'm gonna have it open right here so you can read along with me. All they want is my money, my pussy, my blood. I am free with the following conditions. Give it up, gimme, gimme. Okay, so I'm black in America, right? And I walk into a bar. I drink lots of wine and kiss a black man on his beard. I do whatever I want because I could die any minute. I don't mean YOLO, I mean they are hunting me. I know my pussy is really good because they said so. I say to my friend I am broke as a joke. I am starving like Marvin Gaye. I'm so hungry I could get it on. There's far too many of me dying. The present is not so different. Everybody looks like everybody I worked with. Everybody looks like everybody I've kissed. Men champion men and animals. Everybody thinks I'm going to die. At the museum, I tell the school group about black art. I tell them the word contemporary. I have a nose ring I forget about. I have a brother, and he is also black. I am a little modern to the fault. I say this painting is contemporary, like you and me. They ask me about slavery. They say Martin Luther King. At school, they learn that black people happened. The present is not so different. I'm looking into their black faces. They do not understand that they exist. I'm black in America, and I walk into a bar and drink lots of wine and kiss a white man on his beard. There is no indictment. I could die any minute of depression. I just want to have sex most of the time. I just want my student loans to disappear. I just want my to understand. I just want to understand my savings account. What is happening to my $5 1 cent? I am free with the following conditions. What is happening to my brother? What if I do something wrong? My blood is so hot and wet right now. I know they want it. I do everything right just in case. I don't want to give away and away my money, but here I am. It's so stupid I have to say here I am. They like to be on top. I am being set up. I am a tree, and some fruits are good and some are bad. Um, yeah, so just to discuss the form of the poem, it changes throughout. The meter is different throughout, and the stanzas in the book are laid out per page, which I thought was pretty interesting. Um, the poem is mostly in free verse. Um, it it's an Anapest trimeter for the most part, but like I said, it changes uh, throughout the poem. Um, yeah, so rhyme and meter. There's not much rhythm throughout the poem. It's mostly kind of like stream of consciousness kind of deal. You know, the first part she's sort of describing herself and who she is, and then the second part she's describing, some of her fears and some of the things that concern her. Um, it's very much a poem about her as a person, um, which I find pretty relatable. Uh, one point in the poem, she says, "I say to my friend, I am broke as a joke," which is in line 8. And that, for the most part, is the only sort of rhyme that we get. We don't really get any more rhythm than that. Setting and content. So, the poem obviously takes place in the mind of the narrator. Sometimes she talks about the bar, but it's like kind of like I said, a stream of consciousness. She's sort of talking about herself. Um, she started talking about being a black woman in America, about being broke, about her student loans, about her brother, her friend. It's like she's talking, it's almost like a biography, an autobiography in poetry form. One line, so I'm going to start talking about the lines that I liked. One line that I liked was, "I am starving like Marvin Gaye. I'm so hungry I could get it on." And that's like a very simple line. Um, Obviously, but I just like the Marvin Gaye reference, and I like "I'm so hungry I could get it on," which is like another Marvin Gaye song. called "I Could Get It On." Um, it's just an interesting way to put that, and it kind of gives you a little bit of background on her musical interests and the music she listened to growing up. I thought that was pretty cool. Line two is a little more complex. I am a little modern to a fault. I say this painting is contemporary like you and me. They asked me about slavery. They saw Martin Luther King. At school, they learned that black people happened. I chose this line because she's mentioning sort of like how black art, or at least her black art, is contemporary, which means sort of modern. But then immediately after, she says that they ask her about slavery, and they say that, and they saw Martin Luther King, and that they learned that black people had already happened. It's sort of like she's trying to push this idea that black art is a modern and contemporary thing, but everyone else is sort of in the past about black people. We never learn about the future about black people. There's a Black History Month, but there isn't a Black Future Month. We're always talking about what already happened instead of sort of moving forward. And I feel like this line kind of talks about that. The next line that I chose was, they like to be on top. I am being set up. I am a tree, and some fruits are good and some are bad. I chose this line because it's sort of a dominant. It's her like talking about how white America likes to dominate black people. They like to be on top. She's being set up. It's sort of like a double entendre with sex and what's going on with the racial tensions in this country. She then follows up by saying, "I am a tree, and some fruits are good and some are bad." This is just like another relatable line that I really love because it's so true. Not every part of you is good and not every part of you is bad. You kind of gotta realize that humans are, not just black and white. They're shades of gray. So I figured it was one of the more important lines. So in conclusion, um, and like her philosophical outlook on life, she's very existential in this poem, but she's also logistical. She talks about like really what's going on in the modern day for black women and for black people in general, and just for people like the student loans and everything. That's something everyone, no matter what color you are, deals with, but specifically black people. Um, she's in a constant state of fear of being killed, which is a very real reality for people of color in this country, especially with the things that have been happening recently. Um, this is an older poem, but it still sort of speaks to what's going on today, which I think is a direct reflection of how great of a poem it is. Um, yeah, so Morgan Parker, All They Want Is My Money, My Blood, My Pussy. And it's one of my favorite poems. I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you.